Thomas Edison was a businessman and inventor of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The batteries we use today are in DC, direct current, what he promoted. And he also improved the light bulb and the vacuum diode. His Edison General Electric Company provided light for public houses. After all, what good is an incandescent lamp without something to power it?
Thomas Alva Edison was born on February 11, 1847 in Milan, Ohio. The youngest of 7, he was a sickly child who came down with scarlet fever and was prone to ear aches, part of his partial deafness. Samuel Edison, his father, was a Canadian revolutionist against the Britons in Quebec and later ran a lumber mill in America. His mother, Nancy Edison, was a school teacher. He was in a private school for 12 weeks and prone to distraction and hyperactivity. He had to be pulled from class. Nancy Edison, his mother, had him withdrawn and taught him herself. And he was later self-taught by age 11, reading with both his father and his mother. He was a naturally curious and troublesome child, almost drowning in a canal at age 6, almost suffocating in a grain elevator, and started a barn fire in his father's barn to see what the flame would do. When Edison was 12, he ran a newspaper at the local train station, creating pamphlets for people coming into town. He was able to run experiments in the back of a train car, which later set on fire. He had a thing with flame. As a 12-year-old, he saved a 3-year-old from being hit from an oncoming train, and that child's father, feeling grateful for what he had done, taught Edison how to use the telegraph, to which he would later use in an office job. Edison returned home when he was 21 to find his father out of work and his mother mentally ill. No doubt it took a toll on him, causing him to want to work as hard as possible to help support his family. And he found a job with the West Union Company.
Thomas Edison helped improve the vacuum diode, which amplifies weak currents. This one was made in the USSR. And he also purchased the patents to a failed light bulb and created them as we know it today. And they are the most vastly used form of artificial light creation. Francis Upton, working under Edison, created the Mary Ann generator to power his laboratory. It worked with 80% efficiency, while most generators at that day ran at only 60%.
Thomas Edison, due to his upbringing, was a man of business. He put business first and science second. His work ethic was often used to defame him, and he hired many individuals to work in his laboratories, and when an invention was created, it was often accredited to him. This method is similar to when a cake is baked to Strax. The customer doesn't say, "Oh, I bought a cake from baker's name," but rather they say, "I bought a cake from Strax." This is how it happens too often in business. And men who worked in Edison's laboratories would be called muckers with an M. Thank you. And some famous muckers with an M were Francis Upton, power generator creator. Ludwig Bohm helped create the light bulb. Nikola Tesla, probably the most well-known, and his son, Charles Edison. We are here at the Tower Road Substation in Valparaiso. While public power was a direct current idea, it was put through with alternating current. Now, direct current has a smaller voltage than alternating current, meaning that more of these substations would be needed and more infrastructure, so it was easier to use alternating current. And this gets in to the alternating current, direct current wars between Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. And Tesla worked under Edison before parting ways after butting heads on AC versus DC. And then they outdid each other with inventions.
During the current wars, many animals were electrocuted. Henry Burr Jr., founder of the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, prompted Edison's laboratory experiments on electrocuting dogs with direct current by asking if electrocution was a humane way to kill unwanted animals. One of the most well-known would be Topsy the elephant, which makes Edison infamous by her story. She was a victim of her circus handlers rather than the current wars. She was mistreated and she killed 3 of her handlers under the span of 3 months. The SPCA deemed that the usual sentence of hanging, yes, they were going to hang an elephant, was too cruel. That's where Edison's method comes in. It was deemed humane for the execution. It was never done before, so while they electrocuted her with DC by strapping metal plates onto the bottom of her feet, they also fed her carrots laced with potassium cyanide. The media coverage was due to the death of her handlers. The fact that it was a new method of execution, and the fact she was an elephant, it was never done before, and such a large animal would draw attention anywho. Rutgers School of Arts and Sciences goes on to say that there was no news report of Edison being at the scene. Take that as you will. Thomas Edison died when he was 84 years old on October 18, 1931 due to diabetes, leaving behind his wife, Mina Edison Miller, and 6 children. Now, light bulbs are constantly being innovated to limit energy usage and maximize brightness. Green energy is looking towards solar panels with direct current and chargeable batteries, which run in DC. Thomas Edison had over 1,084 patents and was known as the Wizard of Menlo for his electricity. Edison was driven to succeed at all costs, and in his workaholic nature was described as America's greatest inventor. His rivalry with Tesla was exaggerated. His actual rival was George Westinghouse. Out of Tesla, Westinghouse, and Edison's intellectual rivalries, America benefited greatly. Thomas Edison, leader, investor, and inventor.
Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue.